السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إنا نستعينك ونستغفرك ونستهديك ونؤمن بك ونتوب إليك ونتوكل عليك ونثني عليك الخير كله، نشكرك ولا نكفرك ونخلع ونترك من يفجرك. اللهم إياك نعبد ولك نصلي ونسجد وإليك نسعى ونحفظ نرجو رحمتك ونخشى عذابك إن عذابك بالكفار معين. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. بسم الله.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We are continuing on with the book of creation. So we're gonna proceed with the second paragraph of the second proof. I don't know. It's very interesting. Everything we covered last week, it's just there were a lot of points that we covered. So I don't know. Does anyone has anything that remained with you guys from last week that you want to share out? Anyone in this room? Something striking or? Okay, no worries. Eyes down, so that's fine. So I'm just looking at the last sentence of the first paragraph, and I think at least what I'm taking away is that it's within human potentiality. We have the seed of getting to know the purpose of our existence, right? And everything is available for us. The book of creation, the universe, these are resources and tools that we can make sense out of. So that's, just some immediate thoughts before jumping into the second paragraph. Again, before jumping in, does anyone want to say something? A comment, sharing in something, like a concern? No? Okay, so let's move on.
No, one point, yeah.
Oh yeah, please, Brother Ali, go ahead.
Inshallah, it won't be long, but we have to just mention it in order to remind ourselves. So whatever we have in us as human beings, or from our human side, not body side, they are the samples in us of the unseen world. That's what the first paragraph ends with this. They are the samples in us of the unseen world. So when we use our inner senses, we are expected, with human senses, inner sense, that's a mysterious word, human senses, we are expected to witness the unseen. But this superficial materialist age says we have senses to like something, to dislike something, to say this is beautiful, this is ugly, this is frightening, this is somehow appealing. This has something to do with this world. And I believe that I understand that animals have this kind of senses, not related to this world. But human beings, yes, they have to use their human senses in order to understand and appreciate the beauty of, or the ugliness, whatever, the orderliness, the perfection, or as far as we understand that we don't like something, yet that they look like that we don't want it, they are not perfect for me. This kind of analysis, we have to use it at the starting point as animals do. Yeah, you say, oh, I love this to eat. Of course, no one says, I love the stone to eat. Now, like animals also, each animal has its own specific source of nourishment. And they are already geared or installed in their being to like what they are supposed to eat, what they are not supposed to eat. This is the animal side of it. But we have to use them. But to use them as a means of understanding the words of the unseen world. Unseen world, we discussed this last week. Ghaib in the Quranic language. We have to understand that ghaib, by definition, is not of the kind of this world, nature of this world, right? So, by definition, again, as the extension of this definition, we have to understand that ghaib is undefinable. Means what does it mean? We cannot get a limit to it because we cannot use any word describing ghaib as if it is qualitative manner. Now, this is important, but I couldn't make it clear. We cannot describe ghaib, which is the universe points to it, but it is not of the kind of universe, of the same nature of universe. But the universe points to it, points to its existence, make it sure. Now, if it is something not of the nature of the universe, we cannot quantitatively describe it. Why? Because quantitative description belongs to the world that we can observe. But ghaib is not we observe, but we conclude about the existence of the thing that we are sure of. Because everything points to it. Now, for example, somebody made the food. Yeah, the person is not present there, but through our experience, through our experience, we know that it is made by a human being who is conscious and deliberately acting, right? And as far as our immediate experience is concerned, the maker of the food or preparer of the food is not present, but we know that it's a part of the universe. So we can qualitatively describe it because it is the part of the universe. But as an example, it is not immediately present there. We understand by looking at the food prepared, it is prepared by a conscious being. Yeah, even if it is prepared by a machine is organized and arranged by a conscious being. Machine cannot do it itself. We know that. It is because it is within our experience. So we can qualitatively describe it. No, quantitatively describe it. We can. 2 people made it, 3 people made it, a powerful man made it, or a woman made it. Yeah, I can see the woman pleasure or the sense of it in it, sensitivity in the preparation. This kind of descriptions we can make.
So anything in creation can be described quantitatively and qualitatively as well.
But limited, not ghaib.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we use ghaib in this sense, it is a relative ghaib. It means the man is making it, I saw it, or this is made by a man, I am absolutely sure, by a person, I am absolutely sure because of my previous experience to show it. Yeah, and the man is here, or the woman, whatever. The person is within the universe, right? This is not really ghaib.
Mhm.
Yeah, it means not present
Mhm.
at the moment of our experience. Now, why I'm mentioning this? We have to be careful that if any requirement of our human reasoning forces us or suggests us to describe the ghaib for me, which is the subject of one's conclusion that this ghaib is not of the nature of the universe. The creator of the universe, for example, is ghaib. Now, describe it for me in a quantitative manner. No, I cannot. Now, we have to understand. Look, belief means confirming the necessary existence of ghaib, right? That is belief. Belief is not knowledge. Belief may be the result of knowledge of our experience in this world and coming to a conclusion or reaching a conclusion, but itself, belief itself is not knowledge. Being sure of its existence, but not knowing qualitatively.
Yeah.
That's
Qualitatively and quantitatively.
quantitatively.
Oh.
Now, qualitatively, we can only use the word what? Absolute. If. That's it. Otherwise, it cannot be the source of existence of something which gives things existence out of a will only. There is no example of it in the universe. That's why we say it must be absolute. Now, must be absolute. Now, why we cannot talk about people's belief? How much belief you have? Because belief in ghaib is not describable in terms of quantity, so you cannot weight or measure belief. Do you understand this? So that's why we cannot talk somebody's belief and conviction about or the certainty about what he believes in as mostly God, the existence of the hereafter, whatever. We cannot pass a judgment about somebody's belief because ghaib is undescribable and it is mutlaq. Mutlaq cannot be measured. Do you understand? Mutlaq cannot be measured. Anybody's conviction about the necessary existence of absolute, I use mutlaq absolute, cannot be measured either. So, who knows somebody's belief is what? No one. No one knows. But no one within the universe. The one who is absolute itself must know it about absolute. Do you understand this? That's why in Islamic tradition, and especially in the practices of the Prophet, we see that he never passed any judgment about anybody's belief. Why? No one is absolute in this world. He's not absolute either. When he acted against those people who deny only when they physically attack him. If someone says, I don't believe, that's up to him, none of my business. If someone says, I believe, that's up to him, none of my business. I cannot talk. But what we can talk about, the validity of confirming something or not confirming something, denying. If it is a denial for you, for example, for me, a person who says the universe existed by itself, he is a denier of the truth. But for him, he is a confirmer of the truth. Right? So what I can say, okay, according to me, you are a denier. But I cannot be sure of my conclusion. Unless he physically attacks me, I cannot physically attack him either. Right? That's why in Islam, there is only defensive war. If someone says or understands that sometimes in Islam and interprets the life of the Prophet as declared an offensive war, it directly contradicts the teachings of the Quran. So this interpretation is, or this narration must be definitely wrong. It contradicts the belief in God, belief in God. Interpretation is arbitrary, personal, and mostly based on politics. We have to be aware of. When you read the Sirah books, oh, it is horrible. There are good sides, but horrible sides as well. We have to watch out. Presenting the Prophet as, for example, cursing somebody. Okay, you may not agree with the denial of the existence of ghaib, right? You defend, again, in terms of ideology, not physically. You can defend. You say, this idea is wrong, but the truth is this. Try to demonstrate it, not the person, the idea. You follow? Right? If someone makes a trick and harms you, tries to, for example, invade your land physically, you try to defend yourself and protect your house. If someone tries to harm your city, for example, where you are living, you protect yourself. You say, please Allah, save me from the assault of these people. Yes? And make or disable them from doing something. That's called cursing. Right? So, not because of their belief or unbelief, because their preparation or physically acting or preparing themselves to act physically. Then you can defend and you can ask help from God and say, please make them or disable them. That's called cursing. So, for example, there's a verse in the Quran, which everybody must know it, must have heard of it. فَانْصُرْنَا عَلَى الْقَوْمِ الْكَافِرِينَ. Oh God, please help us against, Allah means against here, against the denying people. Okay? But the Quran says people. Seems to be correct. Quran says people. But we understand that these people are the deniers described in the Quran because of their belief. Otherwise, unless they attack you physically and try to give you harm, you cannot do any physical action against them. But what their idea of denial, you can defend yourself from the idea, from the attack of idea of denial. This is the Quranic way of speech. And there are lots of examples one can find in the Quran mentioning about the people who are denying, people who are hypocrites, people who are enemies of God, people who are Jews, Christians. We have to take them not as persons, physical beings, but because of their quality, which is based on denial. So we are against certain people because of their ideology. So as long as these certain people don't physically attack us, we cannot physically attack them. What are we supposed to do then? We can really prepare ourselves against the attacks, assaults of their ideology. But Quran speaks in physical terms as an example, because Quran, it makes that why I say these people are deniers and give us strength and help us to defeat them. It means prepare ourselves to respond back to their denial, but their physical attack is indifferent. So it's a different case. For example, if a person comes and attacks you physically, and this person's name is, let's connect Muhammad, what are you going to do? He's not a denier, so I cannot protect myself. No, it's physical. Physical doesn't accept belief description. Whether comes from a Jew, comes from an atheist, comes from a Muslim, you have to defend yourself, because the attacker or physically a person tries to physically harm you is a Muslim, aren't you going to defend yourself? Or equally Christian, aren't you defend yourself? Equally atheist, aren't you to defend yourself? Aren't you going to defend yourself? It means we have to understand that physical attack is completely different from ideological attack. Ideology must be met, counter action must be met by counter action, by ideology. Yeah, that is only unbelief case or denier's case. But physical attack and defending against the physical attack do not accept any differentiation as far as their belief system is concerned. So these Quranic verses, when you read them, most of the people are puzzled about them. They say the Quran is full of hatred against the people. Do you understand? Against the people of deniers, against the people who are called Christians, Jews, or in the language of the Quran, polytheists, pagans, mushrikun. As if the Quranic language is talking about people.
Ali,
Sorry?
you're saying Christians and Jews are pagans?
Christians and Jews are?
Are you saying Christians and Jews are pagans?
Pagans?
Are you saying that Jews
Oh, I don't know.
pagans?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But ideology is important. What do they claim, right or wrong? You can argue. It's in a human manner. This is the claim, this is the answer. Finish. Right? I'm not saying pagans, or no, I don't know. But what I know, when they use some good words or any explanation of reality, if coincides with my understanding, I confirm it. If rejects, I reject. So simple. So simple. Do you understand at all? So if there is a physical action, regardless of their belief system, I have to defend myself. That is an interesting point. It is causing a lot of misunderstandings when you read the Quran. Oh, okay, but if you don't, okay, this one, take it and give it to someone. The one is left over there. People may see that. So you may have lots of problems with those people who read a very cursory reading of the Quran. They come up with lots of questions because they don't really know, or rightly they don't know. So the translators must be very careful when they use the language, right? For example, when they say, please God help us against the people of unbelief, in bracket, from their wrong ideology. Yeah. So the assaults of this misrepresentation of the reality, please protect us. It means give me or enable me to prepare myself to defend against the ideology which makes them unbelievers. Do you understand? Yeah. So the ideas you have makes you for example, the common language Muslim, right? Not because your body is Muslim or something. This is an important point to read the Quran. When I saw this, all the human senses witnesses as the necessary existence of the world of unseen. But we shouldn't use it in this world. That's why people say, I keep talking. That's why people keep saying, you know, the beauty, usefulness, ugliness, or relative. Yeah. If you use it in the animal way, they are relative. Correct. This is, for example, this one is beautiful for me, but for the life, this food is not a food at all. Right? The lion needs meat, so doesn't eat vegetable or this kind of thing. For example.
When you say in the animal way, are you saying in terms of its just utility, physical utility?
No, in terms of this world. It's a bodily world. In terms of this bodily world. It's animal way. At the beginning of the discussion, we mentioned that if I use my human senses to judge or to give judgment about something useful, beautiful, ugly, or purposeful, purposeless, etc., is nothing more than an animal does within its own scope of interest. Yeah, this is my scope of interest. For example, for a worm, soil is what? The best food. Yeah, the worm lives under the soil. The best food. For me, it is not. Is there any difference between me and the worm in this sense? You answer that question. Sorry?
No.
No, of course not. Of course not. So if I say I like Earth, it is relative to the way I'm created. The worm says I love Earth. It is correct for its own way of being existed or created in this world. Simple, isn't it? But this relativity is related to this world only. We have to understand this, otherwise we cannot solve any problem, which is taught in the Quran. This matter of relativity related to this universe, when you conclude about the existence of something which is not of the nature of this universe, you cannot talk about relativity. Because you are not going to have any, according to me, according to somebody. No, this is the truth, this is the truth, that's it. The universe points to it or not. For me, that's it. Someone may come up with another idea. It's not relative. For example, when you believe in God, as against somebody who doesn't prefer to believe in God, it means belief becomes relative. Correct or not? No. Believe in God, in the absolute one.
Repeat that again. I'm sorry.
It's a tricky thing. If you say that this universe points to the necessary existence of an absolute being, who is the source of its existence, that's my conclusion. If someone says, no, the universe exists by itself, these are not relative. One of them is absolutely true, the other one is absolutely wrong. You have to decide. You are free to choose, but it doesn't change the nature of reality. So, whether this universe is a creator or not a creator, doesn't have a creator. This is not a matter of relativity, because both of us are claiming that I conclude about the existence of something which is not within the universe. The other one says, no, I don't believe in the existence of something which is not within the universe. This is all, according to you, belief is correct. According to me, believing God is correct. According to me, believing God is not correct. Does not make the matter of the issue of belief relative. We have to understand.
That makes sense, because when we always say that belief is a logical conclusion, right? So how can it be relative? Then if something is can be logically concluded, then it's not relative.
How about liking the brownie or liking not liking the brownie? Disliking the brownie is relative, because it is an animal thing. And my body, it's nothing to do with my human senses, which are given to me to witness the necessary existence of the unseen world. But we have to make the distinction. Otherwise, we cannot really solve any problem when we read the Quran to understand its aim, its purpose, and what the Quran is trying to teach me. For example, the existence of a prophet lived in Egypt for thousands of years ago. A man lived in Egypt in thousands of years ago. The other one said, no, it wasn't not in Egypt, it was in Mesopotamia. This is something to do with the word. It's relative. This one may be correct, this one may be correct. I don't care. Yeah, whether you like the brownie, you don't like the brownie, it is not my purpose of existence here to pass a judgment. You are right, you are wrong. Because I cannot. Because you may hate sweet things. There are some people cannot really eat sweet things. So you cannot pass a judgment. It is not your concern. Just if you like it, eat it. If you don't like it, don't eat it. So simple. So simple. Don't talk about it. Somebody says that, for example, the famous example, the rose is beautiful. The other, no, I don't like roses. All right? Okay, go ahead. Everybody will go ahead with their likings or dislikings of a rose. There is no need to argue about it because they are relative. But when you conclude about an absolute being, right? This cannot be, this is the, how to say, the truthfulness. The reality of the existence of the absolute being cannot be relative to you and to me. Whether it exists or not, there is no other option. Finish. That's what the Quran speaks in terms of what? Belief is absolutely right. Denial is absolutely wrong. There's no relativity in between. I think it helps us to understand when we read the Quran, because I see when I read and study things, I see that quite a big number of people are confusing about this matter. So talking about something doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. While they are making a commentary on the Quran, it doesn't make sense because it needs a criterion. It needs for somebody to have a criterion and read the Quran according to this criterion. This subject that we spent some time today, almost half an hour today, is one of the fundamental criteria of reading the Quran or reading the scriptures in general. And inshallah, if you have any questions or any vague point left, we can talk about.
So pretty much what we covered thus far was including the necessarily existence of a necessarily existent one, which is a logical conclusion. But when I'm interacting with the universe, as far as my liking of something, for example, the brownie, that's relative to me. How do I make use of this brownie?
You can use it with I don't like brownie, and what do you like? Because as long as you live, you eat something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are feeding, fueling yourself with some food. Mm-hmm. So what do you like? Think about it.
But here's my thing, but how do I make use of this interaction with the universe, liking or disliking something to fulfill, the purpose of my existence?
But in which term? Your existence as an animal, your existence as a human being. Which one?
Obviously, the existence as a human being.
As a human being, okay, you can use it. But for example, some people like an example pointing to the necessarily existent absolute one. Some people may not like something as an example for him. That's up to them. That doesn't matter. That's why we have to speak in general terms. So if you say everybody loves rose, someone said, excuse me, I don't love rose, for example. But everybody loves beauty. Whatever you see, some people say, I see beauty in rose. Okay. The other one said, I see beauty in, let's say, sparrow. Mm-hmm. Okay. But beauty is absolute.
So what you're describing right now, that's very animalistic side of us.
Yeah, we have to understand.
To us, it's animalistic.
So animal side of us just makes judgment about something which is harmonious, which is not harmonious, which is with order, without order, no balance, or with balance, whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's not important.
Okay.
So it is an animal side, depending on you. Yeah. For example, you may like cold weather, the other one may like hot weather. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's interesting that, my likes and dislikes are relative, right? But the fact that I have the ability to like something or to dislike something, just to be able to form a connection with something or a relationship with something, I would say leads me to question the source of existence of that like or dislike. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter what I like or what I dislike, but it matters why I'm able to, or how I'm able to form this sort of relationship with whatever is in front of me. Does that make sense? Which leads me to question, how come I have the ability to have have these feelings towards this existing thing.
Right. So, just what you said. Whenever you're interacting with the universe, so making the interaction a step further, as in making it meaningful, would be to question the source of existence of the senses and the ability to like or dislike something.
But these, the very, as Ajahn pointed out, the very existence of being able to appreciate something or dislike something, whatever, requires us to investigate the source of its existence. And concluding about it, your conclusion may be for you, but the existence of the necessary existent absolute one, who is the source of existence of this universe, cannot be relative to me or to you. We have there is a room for relativity. There's no room for relativity. We have to understand this. And when we are speaking to people, we shouldn't insist. For example, if it says, you know, the mother loves the baby. Okay. So the other one says, no, I heard the news yesterday, a mother killed her baby. Well, it means not necessarily so. It's relative. Right? But the existence of love, and either you love the baby or you love your own comfort, but you love. The sense of love exists. Listen, somebody says, of course, one should love his or her spouse. You say, no, there are many people who hate their spouse. You say, argument becomes invalid. Because we are talking about the relative word.
So just question the sense of existence of the quality that you are liking or disliking.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially that leads you to the logical conclusion.
Yeah. So your logical conclusion is, but the level of it, the quality of it, how much is it, we cannot talk.
Yeah.
Right? Again, you. But about the absolute, we cannot talk about quantitative, about its quantitative measures, impossible, absolute. But you can come to yourself that, I'm not sure, you can say. Right? But the existence of this absolute one cannot be relative. It's black and white. According to you, whether you accept it or you deny it. That's why the Quran uses the word, belief is confirmation, but the word munkir, inkar, is not confirmation. Or belying, it means lying. What is said in the Quran is not confirmation. For example, you say this happened, the other one says it didn't happen. It is not, the it didn't happen cannot be confirmed by its nature. That's another subject. If you deny the existence of something, you cannot prove it. Within the universe, you have to search whole universe and make sure it is not in the atom, for example. Do you understand? So denial and with it inkar, kufr, munkir, and also kufr. You can share that. Yeah. You can share this one. Inshallah. Make it equal. Okay, it's up to you.
Denial and kufr.
Yeah, they are not certain. But Iman must be certain. the language of the Quran is so delicate.
What do you mean denial is not certain? It is certain. Like,
No,
I mean, you can. Wait a minute.
no, your denial is different, it's relative. But what is denied? Yeah? So, as far as the denial, the existence of the denial is concerned, you cannot confirm it. You just reject it. That's it. You just reject it. That's it. But this is valid only as far as the necessary existence of the absolute being. Right? These kind of small matters look small. We have to be, a little bit careful and critical. What do I mean by saying this? Right? If someone says, I don't believe in God, okay. First of all, we may be sure that not believing in the creator of the universe, which is called God, is absolutely wrong. Now, there's no relativity to that. But what this person says, I don't believe in God, you cannot pass a judgment about this man because you don't know what he means by God. Maybe he means by God what he heard in the mosque or church, right? And it didn't make sense to him. And how it was mentioned there or presented. The idea of God is presented there. It means you are denying what is taught to you. But we shouldn't confuse again. If there is a matter related to practical social life, right? And this social life needs to be regulated, right? Otherwise, human social life without regulation becomes chaos, right? So while you are following the laws, principles of, they call in the Quranic language, Sharia, it means rules introduced to us. Later on, it is developed, enlarged, became a fiqh subject. Now, if someone says, I don't believe in Islam, you say, okay, you are a denier. How did you know? I heard the word. Do you understand? I have the sentence this man said. I don't believe. In reality, whether he is a believer or not, who can judge? Only the Creator can judge. But we can only judge about what? The words used, pronounced, and uttered by the man. Yes. But this is for the organization regulating, administering the societal life. Nothing to do with the reality of the man. We don't know. We have to be careful. If someone explicitly says it, you say, this man says he is a denier, this man says he is a believer. Do you know exact nature of them? No one knows, because we said belief is concerned with absolute. Absolute is known only by an absolute one. Not me.
Doesn't make sense. Absolute is known only by an absolute one?
Yes.
Wait
Yeah.
a minute.
You cannot know the absolute one. Knowledge, not belief. Don't confuse. Okay. Let's do this way, maybe this way. So make room. No, more. Next to the. Yeah. Abi, come here. Arrange yourself. You don't need a director. How to say it? Take your bag. Whose bag is it? And go there.
And once we discuss to be a denier, you have one has to know
Sorry?
One has to know, and then he can deny.
Yeah, that is another subject. Oh, okay, correct. Oh, did you have it? Oh, anybody else? More? Yeah. So you can, that is something else, another subject. How to be a denier is another subject. But what we are talking about, the nature of belief, is in absolute, and absolute cannot be relative. Absolute cannot be relative. Your declaring belongs to you. I don't care. As far as what you say, I believe, I don't believe, I don't care. I don't pass a judgment whether you are a believer, you are not a believer. I can pass a judgment only according to your word, what you utter. Not because I knew really what you mean by it, because most of the people say, I believe in God. I don't know whether they really mean God, the absolute one, or just following their religious tradition. But all the Christians, Jews, Muslims, Hindus say, I believe in the creator God. That's it. Okay? In reality, I have no idea. I don't pass any judgment. That is also seen easily seen in the life of in the practices of the prophet's life. But you have to be careful while we are reading, you understand. Okay? We are ready to go, inshallah.
Start the reading now. So we're on page number 2, the last paragraph. Does a particle proclaim the purpose of its all-majestic maker and his manifest wisdom in its particular tongue? Does a particle proclaim the purpose of its all-majestic maker and this maker's manifest wisdom in its particular tongue?
Yeah.
So the particle...
Particular time belonging to, for example, if it was a particle, but it was an ant, it will be in a particular tongue of the ant, because in the way it is created, you can see the manifestations of different qualities there in their existence, according to their form, the way they are created. It's a question. So a particle, proclaimed it.
It really makes us ponder over creation, as in whatever you come across. So this question, this
big, small, doesn't matter.
Okay. So through its individual existence,
that's one. It proclaims the purpose of its absolute creator. Let's make it simple. The majestic maker means absolute, right? Absolute maker. Through its individual existence, I think this is existence, because it exists. The fact that it exists. This is the most obvious way of proclaiming the necessary existence of the absolute being. It means the creator of the universe. Through existence of anything, without even considering the qualities it has. Just because it exists. Anything.
through its individual existence, particular attributes.
That's two. Now, particular to that being that attracted our attention, or we witnessed. Yeah? It is particular attributes, qualities, whatever the qualities you see in the ant, so small but knows what to eat, how to get it, how to defend itself, how to feed their babies. Yeah, we can see them, how to arrange their life in a communal way, or work together. as if they are the, I don't know, most educated and trained architects. They make their buildings layers by layer. Yeah, unbelievable. It means particular attribute. And also their shape, their form, all the organs that make them work and act and whatever. Incredible. But they witness, proclaim the absolute creator.
And definite nature.
Yeah. But this nature, nature means, I mean, this nature is not, of course, we make the distinction. We make the distinction between nature and natural. Now, this is definite nature, means in the Quranic language, fitra. Yeah, the way it is created. So, for example, ant is an ant. It is not a bee or honeybee. For example, honeybee is a honeybee. It is not a bird, as we call it, or it is not a fruit, for example. Honeybee has incredible qualities to manifest that how perfectly it is made, and bird has its incredible qualities. Incredible, why do I use incredible? You cannot explain it in terms of material world. That's why incredible in terms of matter. Incredible qualities as a bird, or human beings, or a tree, or a plant, whatever you call it. Anything. Or every part of your limbs. Yeah. Stomach works in another way, then heart works, and liver works, lungs work, yeah, and digestive system works, etc. But everything is different in their function, but perfectly, harmoniously preserve their unity. It means it is perfectly arranged. Definite nature.
Every particle points.
It's some,
I just have a question.
Of course.
So how do we know what is our fitra?
yeah, you're conscious. You are a conscious being. You question yourself. The more you use, the more the better you become aware of your fitra, the way you are created. You can study your body, but this is incredible. These are incredible examples of act of creation of an absolute being. And also, you can use your human qualities, human senses, and ponder over their existence. This ability is given to you, which is known as consciousness. You are conscious of yourself. For example, you are conscious of the existence of anything around you see. Yeah. It's not knowledge. Knowledge is acquired, but consciousness is not acquired. Knowledge you have to use means to develop, but consciousness doesn't need to develop. Just use it. The more you use, the better you become aware of your consciousness. But knowledge, the more you use, the wider knowledge you have. The nature is different, but they have different functions. None of them is unnecessary or superfluous. Consciousness is the one, you are aware of it if you want to use it, but if anybody doesn't want to use it, doesn't utilize it, that's up to him.
Every particle points and testifies to the all-wise creator.
Yeah, all-wise creator who is absolutely wise, it means. So His existence is absolute. His qualities are absolute. Must be absolute. Okay. Right.
Just wondering about something. Taking the example, let's say, of a honeybee. I may have a dislike of honeybee, and somebody else may have a like of honeybee. They like
Yeah,
honeybees.
they may
So
be
that's very
frightened of it.
relative.
You know,
That's
it
very-
stings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. A child says, "Ooh," panics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just questioning this sense of liking or disliking should connect me to the source of existence of this honeybee, and or at the same time, what the author is presenting to us in terms of just studying or looking into the existence of the honeybee can help you also connect to the source of your existence. Not only the sense of your like or dislike, but also just like the existence, not only the existence of the sense of your like and dislike, but also the existence of that particular object.
No. Use your consciousness to reflect on it more and more, because the consciousness is already there.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot go to a school in order to improve your consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to go to a school in order to improve your knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So consciousness is already there. Whether you use it or not, you are free, because you have been given free will.
It acts as a building block in forming compounds.
So what is it?
Particle.
A particle is the smallest possible thing, but insignificant according to you and me. It may seem to be very insignificant. Now, whatever it is, everything it means to me, everything acts as a, but in this particular case is particle.
Mm-hmm. Acts as a building block in forming compounds, taking a route among countless possibilities.
Now, as it appears to be now, he's talking now.
Mm-hmm.
So at first glance, you see that any particle is as if it is on its own will, or as if taking a route about endless possibilities. Yep. And there are, it could have been here and there and there and there, endless here.
What do you mean taking a route among countless possibilities?
But as far as our observation, for us, for example, a particle is here.
Mm-hmm.
We say it could have been there.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been in this position. It could have been in that position. So we will now we are observing this, and as a result of our observation, we will come to a conclusion whether the particle itself can assume this. Does the particle have the quality to do that, to assume a particular way from among endless possibilities?
I get it.
We will question that. Now, what we are seeing here, for example, you say, well, this being, whatever it is, it could have been here, it could have been there.
Mm-hmm.
Is it necessary for myself to be here? Who decides? We have to question. What decides? How does he know that it will be there? Does he have the quality to know it? Does he have the quality to choose it? That's what we have to question now. But it appears as if it is taking a route among countless possibilities, and it is assuming as if now, as we observe it.
It assumes its proper position in a.
Do we have the Page 3. Break some.
In a compound. So it
Let's
assumes
distribute. Let's everybody. You have it. You have it. So do you have extra 3? Extra
we'll
3?
take one more.
No, one more here. Be comfortable. Do you have it? Another one if you have. Okay.
Oh, there's one more.
3 and one more. Do you have? Do you have? Okay. You can share with your friend, your neighbor. Yeah.
Everybody said, okay.
Okay.
It assumes its proper position in
It means, again,
Uh-huh.
an example, make the pronouns clear. What
Sure.
they
So
mean.
it is referring to a particle.
So read it accordingly. The particle,
A particle assumes its proper position in a compound.
yeah. Now, appears to be, yeah, is a proper position in a compound. Not by itself, together with its companions, in order to be in the body of a, for example, human heart, for example, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you mean about like the other particles? Like it's working in harmony with the other
Together,
particles
yeah.
together.
So
This-
but in a particular way,
Mhm.
right? Not accidental.
This position has relations with all other positions.
In the compound. All the positions of other particles in this compound, right?
Yes.
Okay. Think about anything. For example, take an orange, and then everything is together, making a perfect or complete orange. Orange is a compound, and every particle in it is working in harmony, in relations with the other parts together. Right. Not only one of them adjusts itself. No. One of them adjusts himself to the requirements of the compound. The other one also adjusts itself to the requirements of the compound. Yeah. Of course, you have to question how it is happening. Is it possible that these particles are the source of decision, power, knowledge to act in relation with the others in a compound, so that the compound will function perfectly?
So question whether the particle has the ability to adjust itself.
Yeah, we will do it at the end.
Okay, yeah, already. So this position has relations with all other positions, and the particle fulfills many tasks issuing from those relations.
Yeah. For
Right.
example, particle itself is not a heart. Particle employed in the heart. So particle itself is not a heart. Now, it cannot be the architect of the heart, designer of the heart, maker of the heart. But it is functioning in the body of the heart, and the heart functions in an incredible way. Okay, many tasks issuing from those relations altogether. Yeah. And the simplest example is my favorite example. If you have a block of brick, one brick, does it make a house? No. But in a relationship with other blocks, other bricks in that compound of a house, they are there a part of the house. So you have to question whether the bricks, anybody can, so I need to be there and I should go there or not. That is at the end. What we are absorbing here, what's happening in the creation or in this world.
As there is a strict balance and perfect harmony among positions, as there is a strict balance and perfect harmony among positions, each
Among
path-
positions, yeah, we have to be careful. Positions.
Right.
Each one has a particular position
Mhm.
there.
Each task the particle fulfills yields numerous wise fruits.
It means purposes.
Mm.
Yeah. So each task the particle fulfills yields numerous wise results, purposes. Yeah. All the particles themselves are so minute and they have no quality to decide to go to do anything, but they have to follow the order in the creation. But it's not as a result of they have to follow, they are following. As a result of their will that they are following. But we see that any particle cannot act independently. So what is happening, which is the food for thought, what's happening here? Each one has no independence at all, has no quality to decide about something, to do, to execute something, to know the future, what they are going to do there, what they are going to do there. Okay, that's what's happening. But the result becomes, the compound becomes a very purposeful being, or they don't have the purpose, they don't have the free will, but the result definitely demonstrates a wise, purposeful, and the result. Yeah, each block of stone used in the building of a house, they don't have anything, but at the end, we found them. Oh, this is a beautiful house for me to live in. Well, you have to question whether this compound, the parts of this compound, decided to make it, can they, or by themselves? That is the matter to be thought about.
As all of this corroborates
All of this, yeah, all of the particles in the compound, and in a wider sense, all of the particles in the universe, to make the universe function as we see it. Okay, as we experience it as much as we can.
as all of the particles corroborates the particles' testimony of the creator.
Yeah, it
Oh,
means
okay, so
now their position in the universe and testimony of or the corroborate the particles testimony of they point to the necessary existence of a creator, the one who made the building. Not the parts are making the building. The stone has no free will. Particle is not different from a stone. It's not. In the body of the cell, we have to go back because this is the main point that the people keep talking about. In the body of the cell, any particle is there with no free will in the body of the cell. But at the end, cell itself, dynamic and makes perfect function. Right? It functions in a perfect way. Oh, We have to think now. But the author says here, they testimony to the necessary existence of a creator who is arranging the universe in the way that we experience.
The particle proclaims the proofs of its all-majestic maker's necessary existence and displays its all-wise creator's purpose. In the tongue of its acts.
Yeah. Now it is in the tongue of its act, the way it acts as we see it. But we conclude that it is not that it acts. Why? Because they have no quality to act in the way that they appear to be acting.
So it's just a witness.
Now what we see, the tree is growing. Now that's what we see. Tree is growing. But when you really think about it, the tree is a compound now. The particles in the tree, in the body of the tree, can they really make the tree? To decide, to choose, to plan, and to have the connection between the tree and other animals and plants and atmosphere in the world or the system, how the universe is. We should never, ever forget to remember. I don't think you do, but just to refresh our minds. Everything in the universe has to follow a set rule in the order of the universe. They cannot themselves make a decision to choose this way or another way. But they are subject to the law, the principles established in the order of the universe. Although they have no freedom, they have to follow the order of the universe. But at the end, what happens? Everything becomes a part of a perfectly functioning being. Well, they have no freedom, they have no free will, they have no wisdom, they have no quality of anything to make decisions. They are subject to the order. Do you understand? Do you see the importance of this? They are subject to the order. They cannot freely choose and act. But if you listen to these people, they call themselves scientists. They use a trick language to atheist scientists. They use a trick language. They say, look, the cell is functioning in this way. Excuse me? Cell is doing this? All the parts of the cell have to follow the order, and the cell itself also has to follow the order. They cannot choose as they want. Everything has to follow the order. Yeah, as far as the existence is concerned, even the human beings which have somehow limited freedom, we have to follow the order. Can you execute your freedom without following the order? Can you execute your freedom without following the order? Can you? Think about it. Can you? Without following the order? In any way? Follow the order. In this sense, nobody and nothing has freedom to do anything as they want. They have to follow the order. But you may realize it, you may not realize it. Can you do anything? I mean, you look at the puzzle. can you do anything without following the order? You choose. Whatever it is you choose, you have to follow the order in that direction or in another direction. You have a free will. But apart from human beings and partially animals, all the parts of the universe have no free will. They have to follow the order. Even they cannot choose one side of the order over the other order. They cannot choose. They have to
animals, you're saying?
Sorry?
Include so everything minus human beings.
Yeah, in a minor manner, animals have free will as well. The cat goes this way or another way. It has freedom. But still, it cannot go against the order of the universe. I cannot go. No one can go. So in one sense, we are all subject to the order in the universe. So we have to question, what is the source of the existence of disorder? Now, that's another question now. We are not there yet. So, or on the human beings, everyone is follower of the order. We cannot do anything breaking the order in the creation, right? Okay, we are not free there. But as far as human and animal freedom is concerned, what we are given the freedom is to choose from among the order. This one or another one. But we have no freedom to choose, nothing to do with the order. We have to understand this. Some people say we have no freedom at all. Are they right or wrong? Yeah, they are right. They are right. We have no freedom in making a choice among something which is not, or about something which is not within the order. We have no freedom. That's correct. Do you understand this? So some people say that, no, we have freedom. Yeah, that's correct too. We have freedom to make preference between following this order or another order. Right? Sitting or standing. Still, you can stand up, you cannot stand up as or without following the order. You have to do this, and your hands, your muscles, and do you understand? That's the order. So you have to do it. So from one aspect, we are bound to the order, therefore the one who established the order. That's why some people say, we are all slaves of the orderer. The one who established order, the one who gave existence to the universe. So in this sense, it is correct, but it must be specified. But it doesn't deny or exclude my freedom to choose from among the order. So when I say I am free to choose from the order, I am not free, correct. You are not free to go out of the order of the universe. Is it clear now? So if someone says that we have freedom, the other one says, no, we don't have freedom, we have to say, okay, now define it. Specify it. What do you mean we don't have freedom? What do you mean we have freedom, right? We have to be aware of it.
I'm glad you mentioned this, because this is helping me reflect more on what we covered early on with our senses, liking or disliking. So I'm free to dislike the brownie, and I'm free to like the brownie.
Yeah.
Okay? Questioning the sense of like is easier, but what is the source of existence of dislike? How about questioning the source of existence of the dislike?
That's your choice, given to you.
to choose
That's
to
it.
dislike, and the same thing, that's my
But
choice given.
that's why liking or disliking is relative.
Wait a minute, I understand that, but the existence of liking makes sense. What is the
Existence
source
of
existence?
disliking,
Is the same thing?
of course, disliking is that sense. You cannot
Disliking.
create disliking.
Oh, so the
Yeah.
sense of dislike points also to the source of my existence? Am I
Of
not
course,
contradicting
of
myself
course.
if I'm
But
disliking?
you are free to choose between liking and disliking. Like your eyes. You are free to not close your eyes with your eyelids and see it. You are free to choose to close your eyelids and not to see it. See something. But being able to see is the reality, right? But now you are seeing it or you are not seeing it is relative to you, right? Somebody says, it is light outside. Yeah. He's looking at it and see the daylight and say it is light. The other one is closing his eyes and says, it is dark outside. Yeah, that's correct. That's what we said. We have to understand that to describe the day as light or dark relative to me. Do you understand? This is within my free will to see it, to
Okay, that
close
makes
it.
sense.
No,
Yeah. But these feelings and senses is a more tricky experience, I would say, because I don't know. Like there are things, just an insect, right? So the author is saying, hey, the creation of it is amazing, it's wonderful, it points to its creator, but at the same time, relatively, I may not like the whatever honeybee, or somebody may like it, so that's relative to them. But I feel like the way the author is presenting now everything,
yeah.
it should lead you to like the existence of the honeybee.
No, not necessarily, no. But it should lead you to understand or to conclude that it is the act of its creator, not itself, whatever it is. Now, it cannot
Oh, I see
act
what you
itself
mean.
because everything is subject to the order. No one is free to choose. So I cannot attribute the existence of anything as a result of something's choice.
Mhm.
No, because everything is subject to the order.
So even my sense of dislike of the honeybee,
Yeah. It is in the order.
in its act of creation, of oh man, I don't think
No, it is. You have to think about
Yeah,
it.
I'll
You
think
have to
about it.
deliberate. I would say it. Hibernate on it.
Mhm.
So this subject is because we don't really go into the details usually of what we are talking about. Yeah, superficially saying that, for example, you like it, you don't like it, I like it, I don't like it, and we don't really question what do they really mean for me. We don't really question. Most of the time we speak when we don't really realize what we are talking about. That's how I am.
Mhm. I agree.
Question. I understand that none of us have absolute freedom. Do you also see freedom within the choices we've been given? Is freedom also relative?
No, the existence of freedom is not relative. It's real there. But your choice is relative to you. How to use it is relative to you. But the existence of freedom is there and points to what? Its absolute creator. Because no one in the universe, nothing in the universe can be the source of existence of human senses, including freedom, free choice. No, you cannot say that the sense of free choice is created, given existence by the particle of my brain. particle of my brain is subject to the order, it cannot have any choice at all. So how can be the source of existence of my freedom? So it is subject to something itself. Yeah. Even human beings have some sort of freedom, partial freedom, if you like,
Choices.
or relative freedom. Yeah, so it means the freedom which is used in a relative way, not absolute way, cannot give existence to anything which doesn't exist in the universe. So when human beings with this quality, consciousness, freedom, knowledge, experience, memory, and we cannot create anything at all. One particle we cannot create. So how can I say that a particle created my free will, which doesn't have anything? The particle doesn't have anything, any quality at all. Absolutely subject to the order. So when you really read all these claims that scientists make by using a very superficial and tricky language, they may realize, they may not realize, we don't know. Conscious or deliberate or not deliberately they are doing that. I don't care. But the language is tricky. They say, look, your heart is beating. Your heart muscles developed in this way. In order to develop in that way, they have to have their own free choice. But they cannot do anything without following the order. They don't have free choice. How can you talk about it? But they look at, the heart is pumping, right? And it's very superficial, isn't it? Very superficial, very artificial way of looking at the world. Simple-minded.
I get it now. Let's try to work it out.
Okay, inshallah.
Sense of like and dislike. The sense of liking brownie. I say, hey, so I question the source of existence of this sense of like. It's given. I'm like, my cells are not producing it. The particles really definitely cannot put, I'm just like jumping. So the source of existence of the sense of liking, just the liking, because the brownie is just a means, points to the source of existence, right? Of whatever is given me this sense of like. Does that make sense? Giving, right?
Yeah.
How about the sense of dislike? I cannot say that I'm given the sense of dislike because I feel that definitely I'm choosing this way. And the source is part of the order.
Don't go further.
Yes.
Can you choose anything without following the order?
No.
Okay, it is in the order, means it is created in this way.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is in it.
Is it given the sense of dislike, or I'm choosing the sense of dislike?
No.
I'm choosing the sense of dislike.
Both of them. Look, a sense of like is given, sense of dislike is given. Your freedom to choose either to use sense of like or sense of dislike is also given to you, but you are set free to make the choice.
Okay.
That's so simple.
Wasn't there anything you ever didn't like as a child that you changed your mind about as an adult?
And what's that?
like there are certain types of food that I didn't like as a child that I almost made the choice as an adult to like.
Excuse me, make it clear for me as well. As a child, to make what?
There are certain things that we might not like at a certain stage in our life, but the likeness or dislikeness isn't inherent to the thing. It's about my choice. And as I grew up, my opinion
choosing the liking, choosing disliking is not inherent because we have free will to choose.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I hated coffee when I was younger, but now I've made the choice to get used to it. Then after a while, I liked it.
Yeah. Some people still are frightened by spiders. I understand the bees can sting. I understand. But how about the spider? Spider is there on the corner. feel it, as they see it, they're terrified. They get terrified. But we understand that it is some sort of habit or something, but the sense of being terrified is created. But somebody can train, somebody can train itself and choose other way around. I don't mind going and getting the spider and taking it and putting it in the garden. But some people, not touching, forget about touching. Just see it on the corner, they start shaking.
But now,
Yeah.
presenting this text, we'll be like, hey, I mean, your whole perception of the spider will change.
Yes. If
Because it's
yeah.
pointing you to
Yeah.
the source of
yeah,
existence.
it means training. It needs training.
Mhm.
So the training ability is also given to you. Now, you can use it, you cannot use it. Some people just imagine, and this imagination continues in their life, never question that.
That's interesting. I'm even thinking about our choices now. As in, going back to, I'm sorry, what's your name?
Rania.
Rania's point about at certain stage in our life, you may choose to like this. And at a certain stage in your life, you may choose to dislike it. So I feel even questioning this choice. Like, I don't know, how do you explain that? At one moment, I chose not to like it, and at this moment, I'm choosing to like it.
Training, you train
Training.
yourself. You train yourself in this way or another way. If you keep seeing that your mother screaming when she sees a spider, and you start developing an idea that, oh, this spider must be very frightening or something, and then you can follow it, or you may start questioning. No, I don't know. We have freedom. Yes? We have freedom to use this sense or another sense, to develop the sense, not to develop the sense. We have freedom, but we don't have freedom to create. That is the
That
difference.
makes sense. And at the same time, I feel like this sense of liking is like on the positive side of things as opposed to the dislike. Like we talked about training. So at one stage in your life, you may have disliked this,
Mhm.
but you train, now you like this. So I feel like one should be geared. I mean, it seems that way, that human progress or humanity needs to be geared towards sense of liking.
So this is,
Depends on what.
sorry, this subject is important. I will say it and leave the mic to you. Important in order to understand the language of the Quran as well. Most people get, another point that the people get confused about the language of the Quran. So please remind me about this, that God is the one who make them go astray. Wow. What does it mean? So people said, oh, it is up to God to make me an unbeliever or unbeliever, or to be on the right path or the wrong path. None of my business. It's not my responsibility. It is easy for any person to compete in this way. That is the point needs to be discussed. Or, I mean, go over it, emphasize it.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment real quick. I think the sense of dislike is just as valuable and as necessary. So, for example, just to kind of give an example that we often do, if I see a kitten on the street, right, and it's shivering or hungry or something, I dislike that state that it's in. And that dislike informs me about my own existence, about the qualities that I find in myself, which point to their source just as much as, when I like something. Because I see an absence of qualities that I do like. So that dislike allows me to, further my knowledge about what it is that I expect and seek from the source of existence of those feelings. Does that make sense?
I'll remember it, inshallah.
So, so the Quran says those people, of course, sometimes it specifies it, not sometimes, very rarely the Quran specifies it. Mostly he says, okay, we decided that they will go astray. Now, it is us to decide that. So no one can save anybody if we decide that he will go astray. Okay. So the Quran speaks from the Creator's perspective. Right? So as far as the existence of that state is concerned, it is created by the one who created the order of the universe. Right? It is taken within the order of the universe. That is why it is us to create it. For example, you do something as a result of your exercising your choice. So you say, I have done this. And the Quran says, no, it is us to do it. The classical general example is when you throw something, it is not you who threw it, it is us who threw it. The creation of it. But it doesn't disqualify that my choice between liking and disliking, between confirming the truth, between denying the truth. That's my choice. But the result is given existence by the one who established the order of the result that we experience. So Quran speaks from God's perspective. So God's perspective is related to the creation side of it. So when he says, okay, let them choose whatever they want, it means not the creation of it, but between liking, disliking, between confirming, denying. Right? For example, between telling the truth or telling a lie. Are you not free to tell a lie? Of course, we are given some senses not to like lying. But still, we are free to lie. Aren't we? And we can make a lie. We can say something, in the way that it's not real. No, we are lying. So we can confirm something. We can give lie to something, as the Quran says. Yukadzibun, tukadzibun, nukadzibun, but this kind of languages. It means it says that this is a lie. I don't believe it. I don't accept it. You are free to do that. But ultimately, whatever you like, whether you like or you dislike, the sense of like, your sense of dislike, your sense of choice between like and dislike, which one are you going to use it, is also freedom, is also created. Everything is created by the one who created the order of the universe. It makes the things easy to understand when we read the Quran, especially. Some people say, oh, there are interesting principles. First, we have to learn before reading the Quran. Otherwise, reading the Quran may cause confusion without knowing the principles. Not that I'm saying principles. I'm not saying information. Information is not principle. Defining who's speaking, for what purpose is speaking, what am I expected to learn from it, which way I should take into consideration. These principles must be established first before reading the Quran. Inshallah. Okay, we don't have much time. It's already up, but let's finish up and come to the question actually.
It is as if it recites the verses declaring divine unity. So it is as if the particle is reciting the verses declaring divine unity, as in absoluteness.
So divine unity always said absoluteness. Divine absoluteness. Divine means what? Not of the nature of the universe. This is nothing to do with the universe. Yeah.
Just as a soldier is charged with particular duties and has relations with all army divisions in respect of those duties.
Now,
That makes sense, yeah.
so the ordinary soldier, although he's a human being, doesn't know the whole complex structure of the army. So that accordingly he says, sorry,
Maybe not.
no. But he has been put there in this position, you will be there. That's it. And you will listen to this commander.
He knows who's above him and who's below him.
That's it. Yeah. The others, yes, there are, but he doesn't know why he's there. But he is a human being, we may explain it, you will function in this way. But particle has no quality of human being at all. So he has to know the whole universe in order to be in a particle, in order to be a particle of the cell of your heart, of your body. So everything, so your relationship with the rest of the world, according to the heart will function. So it doesn't know. Okay.
Then, are the proofs of Almighty God's existence and unity not more than all of creation's particles?
Yeah, do you agree that every particle in the universe points to the necessary existence of the absolute being? That's unity. So there must be such a thing, witnessing to human capacity.
The tradition, the roads leading to God are as many as his creatures' breaths, expresses a pure truth.
So creature's breath means emphus in Arabic language. Emphus, if you read the translation, emphus means every man, every man. But the nufus means that any individual being, depending on your understanding of individual being, you can understand that a tree is an individual being. You can say, no, a leaf is an individual being. Another man says, a cell in the leaf is an individual being. The other one says, no, a part of the cell, a particle in the cell is an individual being. Everything in the universe within each other points to one necessary conclusion, which is there must be an absolute honor, the creator of this world, established in this world, consciously, knowingly, purposefully. That's what we are seeing. We may discover all of them, we may not discover all of them. That is our limited world. Okay? Now, question stop. Inshallah.
Oh, you want me to read the questions?
No, I think next week we will start with the question and the answer. With an interesting question. Okay. So, we will complete one page. Okay. Next time. Okay, we are done with page 2. Thank you. Inshallah, see you next lesson. Inshallah.
The closing line.